Well, hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm getting ready for Mike in the Midwest. It's podcast day again. It's podcast week. It's podcast time. It's cold. Christmas tree still up. I know. I need to take it down. Actually, I'm paying Mallory to do it today, I think. I better put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let's see here. Recording podcast. How do you turn that on? That ring. There we go. My dad will probably still call from Los Angeles because I just texted him. Let's see here. Let's do episode 231. Wait, why did that not go? Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 231 of Mike in the Midwest, our mini podcast for the amazing patrons just like you of the Be Our Guest podcast. Of course, my name is Mike Roman, host of the Be Our Guest podcast, which you can find wherever you find all podcasts. But of course, you're a patron of the show, so you know where to find us because you've been listening to the show for a minute or two, and I appreciate that so very much. So we don't need to waste time on that. So let me just say, Happy New Year to you. Kind of wrapping that up because I think we have to move past that at this point because today is January 5th, 2025. Holy cow, that sounds kind of crazy. 2025, but I hope the year is settling in for you. I think tomorrow's the day where most people kind of get back into the year. I don't know, school teachers back to school. We'll talk about that. Maybe not here where I live. Even though it was supposed to happen, probably won't happen here. But this is kind of the time. I think tomorrow's the official start to 2025 for a lot of people because of just how the calendar fell with Christmas being, what was that, on a Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't even remember at this point. I guess it was a Wednesday. Yeah, because Christmas Eve was a Tuesday. So, we had New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and all that stuff middle of the week. So it's really thrown off the calendar this year. I kind of like it like that. It was really nice for a couple of weeks being able to say, I don't even know if it's a weekend. I don't know if it's a Thursday. I don't know if it's Sunday. I don't know if it's Tuesday. I like that. For somebody that works at home and every day is exactly the same, pretty much like my Sundays, I get up, I work. My Saturdays, I get up and work just like a Tuesday. I mean, the only difference is where we go out to eat sometimes and the girls are home. But other than that, I do the same thing. I don't complain, but I mean, it is pretty monotonous. And so it's kind of fun when everybody else is kind of on different schedules. It makes it, the mundane, it follows me around. So when things switch up for me, for other people, it's exciting. Anyway, I hope you're having a great start to 2025 and you've set some goals, and those goals are going to be achievable and those goals are going to get to you quickly with a little bit of work. And you're going to find that the journey is worth it. I'm not one to I do like coaching. I've always enjoyed coaching in my life. I'm not one to get on people and to be one of those people like, rah, rah, but I do like to give encouragement to people. And I know that resolutions and stuff like that, some people like to do those. Some people think that they're kind of a waste of time. You could take it either way, but I think it is kind of a good time to kind of think about what your goal might be by maybe not by December 31st of 2025, because that's a long-term goal, but maybe just to kind of think about things like it is a fresh start. It is a new year, and make a short-term goal. What would you like to see yourself doing maybe by the end of February, maybe by the end of this month, and just like, what can you do in a small step to get there? And whatever that is, I hope that you do kind of set out a goal to achieve that, whether it's a physical goal, physical fitness, or financial goal, or a personal goal with your career, something like that. I just want you to know that I really do hope that you can achieve that here, because I'm in your corner. And one of the things is that you guys have always supported me by just downloading the shows. I'll tell you that, we started this podcast in 2008, March of 2008. And I still remember this, and I've told this story probably 100 times. But I was floating on the lazy river with Pam at our old house. We had this municipal little water park. We were on a water park. It was we lived in a suburb called Florissant, where we both taught. And in the summers, of course, we were both teachers at that point. So what we did was we got the little community pass to go to the pool as much as we wanted. I think it was like $60 for the summer for the whole family. Well, the whole family was just Pam, Paige, and I. So as teachers, that was a great deal because we could spend $60 and every day we could go up to the pool, and it had a little lazy river that was probably took you like 5 minutes to go around it because it was real small. But it was called Coke Park. And we would just sit up there for hours and Paige would play and go down the little slides because she was like 7 or 8. And we would just talk, as we were going around the lazy river, and Paige would bring all of her friends and stuff. And I remember I told her, I was like, I kind of want to start a podcast. Like, I think that'd be kind of fun. And we were joking about it. And she's like, we should try it. I mean, give it a shot. And then I kind of gave it, didn't do it immediately. And when I finally did, it was kind of cool because people did download the show. Not a lot at first, but, it caught off pretty quickly. And some of you guys have been around since, the spring of 2008. Some of you guys picked it up later, and I appreciate that as well. But just the fact that you continue to download the show, and you've been friends with Ricky and Pam and Scott, and communities have formed around this. We have a running team that is almost 3,000 folks in the Lizard group, and we have folks over in the Discord. That's its own little community. The Clubhouse. People, I love that community. Like, I see that. I see people posting pictures of their families and meetups that are happening. It's so cool. And I just want to thank you for just being a part of this. So when I think about goals in the new year, what I want most of all is I would love to wish every person out there that listens to our show success. And success can come in so many ways. A relationship. I hope that your relationship, either you find a new one, if that's what you're looking for, that you find a deeper relationship in the one that you have, that you see your kids, find success. That's what I'm hoping for. My kids are doing great, right? But I mean, how cool would it be if Paige's team goes on to win a Valley tournament or something? That's going to happen. The last 2 games, they've blown a big halftime lead, struggling. Come on, Flames. Both the last 2 games, they had a huge lead at halftime and they choked it away. Not that I'm a coach's kid, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what they're doing at halftime. But it's one of those things, right? I just want to see success. And I was thinking about that. What do I want for my friends? I want my friends to be happy, and I want my friends to be successful. I want mostly happy. And I know when you're successful, you're usually happy. So I do wish you the best here in 2025 because you have always lifted me up. So thank you for that. And I wish you the best in 2025. But hey, what's going on? That's enough of the seriousness. So let's get to why you're here. So outside the windows here at the BOGP studios right now, we get super excited in the Midwest because this is Mike in the Midwest. Now, you guys know me pretty well because I'm an open book on the big show. Always have been since 2008, and especially here on the show because this is our safe place on Mike in the Midwest. You get the behind the scenes Mike here on this podcast. This is what your $5 a month gets you. I don't hold back here. I'm a nerd about Disney. I'm a nerd about like retro stuff. I love like Commodore 64s. I love computers. I love stuff like that. I love Apple stuff. I've always loved Apple stuff just because like it works, like, and you can do cool stuff with it. But I'm a weather nerd and a space nerd because I worked at space camp. But I'm a weather nerd. I love weather. Like if a big storm's coming, dude, sign me up. I get as excited. The weather people get me so excited. And in the Midwest, like in Missouri, oh my gosh, if there's a snowstorm that's going to come, our weather people get so excited. So we had the snowstorm broom, and nowadays they name the snowstorms. Now, back in the day, they never named the snowstorms. Again, I'm old as dirt, but I guess they started naming the snowstorms about 5 or 6 years ago, like they do hurricanes. And I can't remember what this one's name is that came by. It starts with a B. I think it's like Betty or Bert. I don't know what it is. It was a B because it's early in the season, I guess. But I could care less. It's a snowstorm. But here's the thing. They started talking about this one like a week ago. And so I'm like, yes, we're going to get, because I love snow, right? Because again, I think it's because I had a good childhood. I really have this philosophy that people that are into retro things, like I listen to podcasts about old video games, old toys, old movies from the 80s. I love that stuff. When people talk about, their memories from their childhood, going to the skating rink, going to the movies in the 80s, going, talking about the collection of toys they had, riding big wheels and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Remembering those kind of times because I did a lot of those things, and it reminds me of the good times in my life because we didn't have a lot, but the stuff we had, I really enjoyed having. Anyway, so I think it's 'cause I had a good childhood. But when I when we talk about a good what like when the weather people start talking about this a snowstorm coming in the Midwest, right? I get super excited just like they do. And of course, they're like, okay, easy. We gotta be easy on this one because it could always change because it's the Midwest, right? It could go south of us because if you know like the geography of St. Louis, we are dead in the middle, like north, south, east, west, right? St. Louis is right in the middle of Missouri, and it's on the eastern half. And where I live, I'm west of St. Louis. I'm about 25 miles west of the city of St. Louis. We're in St. Charles County, so we're not in St. Louis. We're west of St. Louis. Anyway, so, but I'm a geek, right? Now, and I love science, I love weather. And the more the better, dude. Give me a good snowstorm. Because I feel like, and I don't know if this is true for you, and I'd love to get it in the feedback. I feel like when we were kids, we always in the wintertime, especially people in the Midwest, I feel like we always in the wintertime got like big snows. I remember, like, for example, speaking of retro stuff, one of the presents I got as a kid, I got moon boots. Now, I don't know if you remember what moon boots they were like. That was the name of them. They were called moon boots. And they were like, they had big, like rubber soles. I mean, big rubber soles. And they were made for going out in the snow. I only had them for like a year or two. They weren't like something I had very long, but they're like that waterproof material, and I think they were like blue and red like kind of diagonal stripes. But they were the coolest things that I ever had. And I wasn't cool, but I thought they were cool. But they were, I think the brand name was Moon Boots, and like you'd wear them out to go sledding, or like if it snowed, you could wear them to school. Of course, you had to take them off when you went to PE class and put on some sneakers, but we specifically as kids had like clothes we would wear when it snowed. So I mean, it had to have snowed more than it does nowadays because nowadays, like one time a year, we might get a good snow. So this time, boom, my weather app was calling for like 17 to 21 inches of snow earlier this week. And so I kept screenshotting it and sending it we have a family text groups that goes to Paige, Mallory, and Pam. Now Paige is up in Chicago. I sent them to her to get her excited, even though she can't see it because she's in Chicago. She might get more, but she's not getting this storm, right? So I'm like, dude, we're getting 17 to 21 inches of snow. I know we're not getting that because we're never going to get that. But I mean, dude, the app was calling for it. That gets me super excited. I'm like, whoa, yeah. Unless it's going to keep me from going to Florida on Wednesday. That's another story. But so Pam's like, dude, my wife's always negative Nelly on this stuff. She's like, that app's crazy because our weather guy on one of the TV stations, he always he uses the term crap apps. She's like, did you get that from a crap app? Because he's like, an official meteorologist. I'm like, no, that's the official Apple app. That's Dark Sky. They bought Dark Sky, and that was the official app. That's the stock app on Apple on the iPhone saying 17 to 21 inches. And that they bought Dark Sky, and they're pretty accurate. Now, I knew we weren't going to get that much. I don't know where that projection was coming from because the next day it said 3 more inches. I knew we weren't going to get 20 25 inches of snow. It never happens here. But anyway, we are under a winter storm warning right now, and we have a lot of sleet on the ground. I just came in from walking Riley because she had to go out and do her, take care of business. And we went out to the lake, and there's probably about 3 or 4 inches of snow right now on top of the sleet. It's just fun. It reminds me of being a kid going out there. Now my feet are wet as I'm podcasting right now. So I am podcasting with wet feet, but I can still do that. You play through the pain, right? And it's fun. But we don't get these snows as much as we used to. I think the weather person said this morning as I was walking on the treadmill, I was of course watching the coverage on the iPad on the treadmill. And of course, here in St. Louis, I don't know if they do this in your coverage area, but like our TV station had the meteorologist in the studio, but they also had 2 meteorologists out in there. They're called the storm runners. So they're out on the highways in a car with like the cameras mounted on the front and the back. so you can see all the road conditions and stuff like that. And they're talking to the Department of Transportation folks and all that stuff. It's, which I enjoyed because I was walking 8 miles, it took forever. So I had something to watch and I could, see what was going on because I'm standing in the storage room of our, house. So that's not super exciting. So I was loving that. But it's one of those things like I love a good storm. And this thing they say it's going to last through tomorrow morning, through Monday morning. So all day today, I'll get to watch outside and see it snow. Now it's kind of tapered off right now as I look out the window, but it was coming down like hamster snowflakes about 20 minutes ago. And I've posted this to my social media. So if you go to my Instagram at @BeOurGuestMike, I've put out some videos. I'm going to put another one out when I'm done here that I was just at the lake. It was beautiful. Canadian geese were on our lake with some mallards. And I mean, big snowflakes coming down when I had Riley out there. So you might want to check that out as well. So do I get excited about weather? Yes. I love weather because I just think, earth and nature and life is beautiful. Here's the thing, too. Kevin, my good friend Kevin, that was on the show just a few weeks back, did a great job on the podcast. I appreciate him coming on the show. He mentioned something because I was talking about it was getting ready to snow on the Discord over in the clubhouse. And he put a comment in there that I took as a huge compliment. He said, Mike, you're excited about snow? Are you kidding me? He said, are you excited? Do you get excited about everything? Are you ever not happy? And when I saw that comment, I thought that makes me happy. If somebody says, are you ever not happy? I think that's the best compliment somebody can give me. Yeah, I do. Ask my wife. There's a lot of times that I'm crabby. When I'm hungry, I'm crabby. When I don't get my way, sometimes I'm crabby. But I have a good life. I have the best wife. I have the best kids. I have a great job. I get to do a podcast that I love. I have great friends. I have a house that I can live in that's safe. I can't complain. I have a vehicle that runs. I have friends. I have a family that loves me. I mean, why wouldn't I be happy? And so when he posted that, it really made me reflect. It really did this week. So just like one comment on a Discord server can mean a lot. And Kevin's comment meant a lot to me. So I do love weather. Like when we get a tornado warning, now I don't want the tornado to hit my house. Let me get this straight. But I'm always like, whoa, tornado warning. I gotta look. I gotta check it out. I'm always like looking out the window. I don't want to hit my house, but I have seen 2 tornadoes in my life. Okay, so that's that. So we have that. Now, what else? We should probably hit the comments from last week. So I don't. Oh, one other thing I wanted to hit. You want to hear something totally random? This morning, of course, usually I listen to sports talk radio when I'm in the shower in the morning getting ready. But right now we're kind of in this funky time where there's no college football. I've heard all the college football analysis for the next round of football games because they're going to happen Thursday. So I just put on 80s on 8 on Sirius XM, and it was the countdown for 1980, this week in 1980. And the song came on that just is the most morose song of all time. And I want to know if you think the same. The song is called, what's the official name of it? It is by Dan Fogelberg, and it's Same Old Lang Syne. Now, do you know that song? That song is like, it came on, dude. I almost wanted to rip the Amazon Dot out of my bathroom. I was in the shower, so it's sitting on the sink like 10 feet away. That song is so sad. I just remember it like from when I was a kid, and the snow turned into rain. I don't know what it is about that song. That song is just brutal. This total random thought. I just want to know if you thought the same. Like that has to be a song that just makes you just want to die. I hate that song. And then it came on when I was in the shower. So I'm all, dripping wet. And I was like, oh my gosh, Alexa, turn it off. It's brutal.
Good morning.
Oh, wait, stop. Stop.
Well.
No, stop. Stop.
You can now enjoy a
No,
higher
stop.
quality version of Rainforest
No,
Sound
stop.
and it play all
Alexa,
the
stop. Sorry, I forgot I had one in here too. So yes, don't play that song. That song, it's sad. Sad. I hate that song. It's like the most morose song of all time. That's what you get on Mike in the Midwest. Just warning. That has a content warning for sure. Okay. So let's hit for real hit the feedback from last week's show if I can find it here. I don't know where that came from, but it did. Audra, simple comment. She says, I hope that this show never ends. I think because last week I was talking about how my dad and I were sitting down talking about, he said, hey, so when you going to bring this show, bring it in for a landing? When are you going to bring in the podcast for a landing? You've been doing it for almost 17 years. You ever going to end it? I was like, stop. Where'd that come from? Because then I asked him, I'm like, you're 71. You going to keep being the radio engineer for the Rams? Like, dude, you commute 2,000 miles for the home games. You know, the away games are closer. When you go to Green Bay, when you go to Chicago, when you go to New Orleans, when you go to Kansas City, when you go to Detroit, those games are closer for you. You can't do this forever. Most people that are 71 are retired. He's like, I love it. He's like, I'd do it for free. I'm like, you know what? I love what I'm doing too. And we just laughed at each other. We said, we're so alike. We love what we're doing. We figured out the secret to our success, right? We are lucky. And my dad really, his job is physical because he has to carry all the gear into the booth. Like he has to carry the mixer and all the wires and all that stuff. And I mean, like he says, like in Chicago at Soldier Field, they remodeled that stadium. It looks like a spaceship now. And like all that, the broadcaster booth is way up high. I mean, of course they have elevators and stuff, but you know, it's not easy. He's 71 years old. You know, he's probably in better shape than I am. So he'll do it as long as he can, but because he loves it, just like me. In this show, I'll do it as long as I can because I love this. I've said it a million times. I'm so lucky to get to do this show. So yeah, we're gonna do it as long as we can. Promise you that. As long as people listen, we'll do the show. All right, let's get the feedback also from Dennis. Dennis says, sounds like a fantastic Christmas, Mike. I hope you have a great New Year's Eve and day as well. Hearing you talk about the pool table you got for Christmas brought back a flood of memories. My parents surprised my brothers and myself with a pool table one year for Christmas when we were teenagers. I cannot tell you how many hours we spent around that table with our friends. I never got particularly good at pool, but we always had a great time. It was more about the conversations and hanging out than it was about playing pool, and I remember it all very fondly. I'm looking forward to another great year of shows from the Be Our Guest podcast. Thanks for all the hard work. Dennis, thank you. Yeah, you know what? I'm terrible at pool. Last night, so this week, so I got this Amazon gift card from the Magic for Less for Christmas. That was like my gift for Christmas from the travel agency for working there. And I put it to good use. I got a pool cue holder, like for the basement. So it holds the pool cues, got a little table next to it. And I also got the triangle thing that you rack the balls with, and I got the diamond so you can play 9-ball. And so we've been playing a lot of 9-ball. And so last night we were playing 9-ball, Pam and I, because Mallory was at the gym, and Pam beat me in 9. So I was to tell you how good I am at 9-ball. Pam beat me 3 games. We played the best 3 out of 5. Pam beat me 3-2 in 9-ball. And then when Mallory got home, she wanted to play. And so then we came down at about 10 o'clock and I beat her. I squeaked out a 3-2 victory over Mallory in 9-ball, 3-2. So I'm not great at pool, but it's about the conversations. Like, and it's just fun to be able to hang out, like, and talk to my wife. And we have a TV in the basement, so we can still have the football game on and kind of casually watch it and just kind of hang out. And otherwise, here's what happens. And this is so sad, is that if we weren't doing that, we'd probably be just sitting next to each other on the couch, like fiddling around with our phones, like scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or something like that. And this is one step better than that, I think. At least we're physically up out of our seats, talking to each other. I mean, it's not like we're doing something great, but at least shooting pool. And I mean, neither one of us are good at it. I mean, I grew up in a Baptist church. Like, dude, you probably shouldn't be shooting pool if you're a Baptist. But my dad and I played pool on Christmas, and one game of 8-ball took like an hour. It was so hilarious. But I'm getting better. And the whole thing is, if you know my personality, when I do anything, I have to be like, I try to be as good as I can at it. So I've been practicing, like, shooting, because I'm terrible at the break. I cannot get any balls to go in on the break. And so I've been practicing, looking at YouTube videos and stuff. So I'm going to get better, but I'm terrible right now. So, but Dennis nailed it. It's about the conversations and it's about the hanging out. It's a better way to watch like a football game that you're not like totally engrossed in. It's like the Steelers were playing the Bengals last night. Yeah, we didn't care, but it was football. So it was fun to just watch it, have a Coke Zero sitting on the table, shoot some pool, have a Christmas cookie. Boom. That was fun. And it was better than sitting there and mess around, wasting time, looking at Instagram for 2 hours. So that was cool. And I won one. I beat Mallory by a skin of her teeth, and Pam beat me, and she won't let me hear the end of it. Trisha also has feedback from last week. Says, first off, I had to go track down the Pop-Tart Bowl video. And then all I could think about was Pop-Tarts. I prefer cinnamon brown sugar. Yes, that's my favorite. That is the best superior Pop-Tart. We inherited an extremely well-loved pool table when we moved a couple of years ago. We play infrequently, but are planning to replace it with an air hockey table, likely next Christmas. And my Christmas shopping for 2025 is done. What? Your Christmas shopping's done for this year? And air hockey tables are fun. But the only thing I think about when I think about air hockey tables, when I was a kid, we had one at my church's rec room. We had like a rec room in the basement. And I just remember I put my fingers, this is when I was real little. I was probably like 4 or 5, just hanging out with the older kids. And I was probably supposed to be like somewhere else where I was. And this was probably like the devil, like, or God getting even with me or whatever. So I had my fingers like hanging over the edge of the air hockey table. Like, you're not supposed, they always told you not to do this, or maybe they didn't, but this is what they told me. And like, I was trying to, like, I just had my fingers like over the edge, and somebody smashed that puck super hard and it hit the tips of my fingers. I'm not kidding, man. I thought it took the tips of my fingers off. It hurt. It hurt so bad. Like when I just told the story, I had pseudo pain, like psycho pain or whatever that's called, like where you can kind of feel it still, like 48 years later. Ouch. Yes, that hurts so bad. Yeah, so that's what I remember about air hockey. By the way, they have a lot of air hockey tables on the Treasure in the Hero Zone. So if you're, it's also on the Wish. Let's see here. We played countless hours of air hockey at the various arcades on Disney property. And I wonder if they have air hockey tables on the Magic, because we'll be on the Magic together. They probably do. I would wonder. We'll have to play. But I guarantee you my fingers will not be on the playing surface. Promise you that. Thanks, Trisha. That's awesome. And got Christmas shopping done. I got mine done like with minutes to spare, which means I paid my daughters to go do the shopping for me. All right. If you have feedback on this week's show or any show, let me know. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Okay, real quick, couple of thoughts on heading down to marathon weekend, because the show's getting super long already. Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. flight to Florida. This is going to be my 9th Dopey challenge, hopefully. Again, very hopefully, I'll get to complete my 9th Dopey challenge, my 10th, nice round number, full marathon at Walt Disney World, and my 11th overall full marathon, because I ran in Chicago one time in 2021. Really looking forward to it. As of now, knock on wood, the body's doing pretty good. We'll see. Of course, every year I'm a year older, and I'm not in the shape I was, say, back in like 2019, 2018. I was at my prime fitness there. It's harder every year to do these things. It's super harder. But the thing is, and I truly believe this, is that we are a team with the Be Our Guest Podcast Lizards and the podcast, just the podcast in general. And when I go down there, I feel like I'm representing the show, and I'm representing the Be Our Guest Podcast Lizards. And I don't want to let anybody down. I want to represent our show in a positive manner. I want to give my best effort. This is how I'm built. I'm just kind of being kind of a little vulnerable here on the podcast, on this side of the show, on the mic in the Midwest. I want to always give my best effort. And so when I finish a race, when I finish a task, I want to know that when I got to the finish line, literally in a race like this, in an event like this, that I gave my best effort, that I didn't leave a lot out on the course. And so hopefully by the time we do the next show, I can come on here and kind of give a debrief, whether it's on the big show or this one, and say that I did give my best effort. And had a good time, made a lot of great memories, and talk about the fun I had on the course, but also that I gave a good effort out there, because it is demanding to run 5K, 10K, half marathon, and a full marathon in a weekend. But I'm hoping the weather cooperates. Looks like it's gonna be on the cooler side. Cooler side's good though for running. It's bad for standing in the corrals, especially if you have a back that locks up, and I do have that, and I've had issues with that in the past, where my back will kind of spasm up, and then it's really hard to loosen up during the race. But we can do things to prevent that, hopefully, before. It's kind of making me worried, but we'll see. I have all my throwaway sweats ready to go. I've actually started packing, put that all in the suitcase already, which I never do ahead of time. So I got that going. I'm just really going into this being chill. I'm staying at Coronado Springs. Love staying at Coronado Springs. I'm kind of bummed because Scotty G will not be there this year. Wade will not be there this year. So my normal crew that I run with is not there, but I have a lot of friends that are going to be there. Phil's going to be there. Jody's going to be there. A lot of, the thing is about marathon weekend is, or any Run Disney event with our lizards, is that you never do run alone. You have tons of friends. Bankheads will be there. It's always a family. There's always going to be so many friends there. It's like, are people going to be missing? Absolutely. Are there going to be tons of other friends there? Absolutely. So I'm not worried about that at all. It's going to be different, but it'll be fine. And, also I'm a person of faith. I know that I'm just going to give my best effort and put it out there, and literally just put one foot in front of the other, and just hopefully get to the end of the event every day, and then just kind of enjoy. My thing is, I got to take it easy in the parks though, in between. I want to have fun, go to the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Studios, Animal Kingdom, but I have to kind of discipline myself to really take it easy, go back to Coronado, just chill. I don't want to be a hermit, but I mean, I'm not 25 anymore. I'm not 35 anymore. I got to make sure that I am there for a goal. I'm there to finish these races, get the medals, have a good time, but also remember it's not a vacation as much as it is to finish. So we'll see how that goes. Now, next week, because it'll be Marathon Sunday, I'll be completing the 48.6. We won't have a mic in the Midwest, but in lieu of that, what I thought we would do is I'm going to put some short videos up just for the patrons on the Discord server that is just for the patrons. So if you go to the Discord server for the patrons, I'll throw some exclusive content up there while I'm down at Walt Disney World, maybe 2 or 3 videos up there. So I'll try to do that instead of a mic in the Midwest to make that up. So because obviously I'm not coming back till Monday night, because that way I can take some pictures with my medals, knock on wood, hopefully Monday morning. My flight's like Monday afternoon. It's the best flight I could get. And then I'll be home Monday night. We'll record the podcast on Tuesday, and then we'll have the podcast out for the week as normal. So you have your shows. So that is it. So crossing my fingers. So everybody help me cross your fingers for good weather. I don't want it to be super cold. I mean, I ran in 2010 when it snowed during the half marathon. That was not cool. Then the next day for the full marathon, there was ice at the water stops. We do not need that. We don't need that. So let's hope for some nice weather. Hopefully no rain. It's not going to be too hot. We know that. But let's just hope everybody gets down to Florida safely, without incident, because I know that storm's moving east. Let's keep those airports open for everybody to travel without delays. No stress. I don't want anybody to stress this week going down. Safe travels down. Everybody stays injury free. Nobody slips on any ice. Nobody has any problems like that. Everybody stays, well. Nobody gets sick. And that we all just have an enjoyable marathon weekend. Can't believe it's here already. And then before you know it, it'll be Disneyland half marathon. I just made my park reservations for Disneyland in a few weeks. Holy cow. So anyway, hope your 2025 is off to an amazing start. And I appreciate you all so much. Hope you're enjoying the Be Our Guest podcast too, that over under show. Hope you had a good time with that. We'll do more of that here in the coming months. I had a good time with that and hope you did too. But we'll have more shows coming for you this week. Oh, by the way, first to know, Pam's back this week. How about that? I'm super excited about that. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll have a live show tonight. Hope you can call in and join us. Scott will be with me. So until we talk again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.